This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Will, Wonderful World. In the last episode, we finally found out, got some new progress and everything. We dealt with a situation with Carlos and his cellmate, and a mysterious man who had trouble with his memories, who may have put things together in the worst possible way. And also, looks like Jimmy's about to be taken out by like a serial killer of some sort, and our tennis princess is about to be killed by nature. So let's see if we can help them out. So let's see what our options are. So we've got 7 and 6. So roughly we're gonna hopefully we'll get their endings at about. And we've only got. Let's do some other options. Okay, so just the 3. Good. It's kind of weird how they throw in all these like possibilities of like manipulating the notes, but we only get those like weird ones every once in a while. We don't get them as often. You'd think they would get more and more progressively harder or difficult, but I don't know. Not that I wanted them to, but you know. Anyway, and okay. So let's go with this. Well, it will work anyway. Sweat on my palm. The sweat on my palm had glued my hand tightly to the pen that had just stuck in his shoulder. They showed no signs of pain at all. Who the hell was this person? I fell down in the mud, and the torn up mud and soil underneath swept both of us down the cliff. Wait, how did all of a sudden we go to the store? All of a sudden we're on a cliffside. And the letters being God is awesome, apparently. The mud and soil kept splashing out of my face and into my nose. I was beginning to have trouble breathing. Suddenly something had struck me hard in the forehead, and I blacked out. When I woke up, I realized I was in a hospital. Couldn't move at all. My entire body had been wrapped up like a mummy. The nurse told me that the team of road repair workers had found me. I had broken numerous bones all over my body, but none of my organs had been damaged. It's almost a miracle. It was almost a miracle. The doctor in a white coat came in soon after the nurse left. He was wearing a mask, so I couldn't see his face. He had a glistening scalpel in his hand. I could see a pair of cold, yet crazy eyes above the mask. Big brother, you're about to start the procedure now. No! No! Ah! Oh, I didn't expect that. My heart skipped a few beats. I felt like I'd already died. I thought I must be in a wild dream. I'd seen too many movies with a similar plot. The heroine was about to fall off a cliff. The hero was about to catch her at the last moment. Yet we were not the hero and heroine of that movie. And the wind in the rain kept getting stronger. He grabbed a small tree next to the cliff with his left hand. Its tiny trunk was shaking more violently than the relentless wind. I was so scared I could sense that I wasn't the only one. Finally, a crisp snapping sound broke the silence between us. We fell off the cliff, holding onto each other's hand as fast as we could. Holding to each other's hand, going away far into the night. Something, 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 something. But we think we're alone now. Sorry. I was falling, kept falling. After what we had felt like an eternity, my body finally touched the ground. I feel something sticky coming out. Okay, we've seen that before. Finally, at the final moment of my life, I finally managed to conjure some courage. Mr. Wynn, I love you. I didn't hear a response. The rain of tears had blurred my eyes. I couldn't see his face. I mean, it's pretty obvious that that was the case. So wait, the D rank for him is that it's not a bad ending, but the fact that he basically survived his incident, but then is about to get cut with a serial killer. Anyway, this game has a weird sense of what integrates a bad ending and a ranked ending, you know. Then again, this game is kind of messed up in the general anyway, just because of like, you know, the pathways for people and stuff like that. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe just do one with all of them, and then see what happens with the like before, you know, the typical all inside, and see. I sprinted towards the nearby road with all the strength I had left, hoping to stop a taxi. Actually, any vehicle would do. As I was about to step onto the road, I looked back to check where he was one last time, but I saw him stop. Beep beep. The deafening sound of a car horn and the screech of his tires rushed towards me from a distance. My body flew off the ground. As I was flipping through the air, I saw the spinning green traffic light out of the corner of my eye. The only thought I had before I completely lost consciousness was, no matter what, you should always check the traffic lights. Wow, that sucks. Heart skipped a few beats. felt like I'd already died. Thought it must be in a wild dream. I've seen too many movies with okay. Catch her hand the last moment. Then she would cut his hand with something and say, "Come with me, or I'll drag you down too." Yet we were not the hero in it. Okay, just that one was different. The torrent washed me off the cliff. The pen was still sticking out of Mr. Wynn's hand. Ow! So that's what. In some versions of the message, she actually hit him and not the like random wall or whatever, or rock face or whatever. Last memory I left him was a pen. I was swept into the air by the gushing wind, but my eyes were locked on him. He was yelling something at me, but the wind had blown the words away. I couldn't hear a thing. I was falling. I kept falling. After what had felt like an eternity, my body finally touched the ground. I could feel something sticky coming out of my eyes and ears. It hurts so bad. Okay. Yeah. Sorry if I kind of really abrupt would finish those, because I'm not sure, like, you know, if it's the same thing or not. Okay, let's just do the same thing with him. I think I did this one already. Oh, no. Okay, I'll do. Maybe move some stuff around or something. I felt weightless. I had never done bungee jumping before. Imagine feel something like this. Okay, after I fell in tournament, but I finally touched ground. Oh, just doing nothing. I mean, that makes sense, but, you know. Okay. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's try that. See what that gets us. I stuck the pen deep into his shoulder, but he showed no signs of pain at all. Crazy looked in his eyes, seemed to get even more intense. He looked extremely excited. He fell to the ground in terror. I was screwed. I had run into a real psychopath. Masked person covered my nose and mouth with a damp cloth. A tide of exhaustion washed over me. Okay, same thing. Could move. Spread out. Made me naked. Gross. Kept brushing the black eyes. Got some newspaper about my butt. Liked little boys. Ugh. Actually, like them too. Like, so flash the other thing was so intense. Okay, it was only slightly different. Let's see, fellow who died. Seen him in movies. Not the hero and heroine. Oh. Just when I thought this would be my last chance to tell him how I felt, the torrent washed us both off the cliff. Our hands lost hold of each other's grip. We were too far away to hear what we were yelling at each other. I suppose I didn't even deserve this one last chance. I was falling. I kept falling. After what I felt like an eternity, my body finally touched the ground. I feel... Okay, that's the same. Oh. I looked at him. Light bushes in the distance. He was becoming blurry until everything went dark. More bad endings. More bad endings. Lovely. Alright. Alright, let's try the next stuff. Okay. Okay, let's see how that works. Nothing? I must have done that one. Did I do that one already? I thought... Oh, I did that one already. Huh. And I already did... I did this one already. Oh no, I guess I did. Okay. I thought I'd done that one already. Fell down the mud, or sorry, wrong voice. I fell down the mud and a torrent of mud and soil underneath swept us both down the cliff. The dark figure was still under my wrist with their unnatural strength. Mud and soil kept splashing onto my face and onto my nose. I was beginning to have trouble breathing. Suddenly something hard struck me on the forehead and I blacked out. When I woke up, I realized in the hospital I couldn't move at all. Okay, mummy. Found me. Numerous bones. Miracle. Mask. Scalpel. Cold eyes. Big brother. We're about to start. Creepy. No, didn't survive. I somehow struck the pin into the cracks of the rocks in the cliff. I didn't fall, but I didn't have enough strength to climb back up either. The wind and the rain kept getting stronger. I was spent. I couldn't hold on any longer. I had to let go. I was falling. Okay. Touch ground. Sticky. So bad. It hurt so bad. Okay. Bad ending and C ending. So, okay. So we should be on trial if we do this right. Get the S ending. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, I think that, yeah. I was about to say that seemed right. That seemed perfect. I'm not sure I found the strength, but I stepped forward at the last moment. I could feel my heel just miss the sliding mud. A torrent of mud was falling off at the slope by the hilly roadside. A landslide? The mud and soil underneath the masked person suddenly began to move rapidly, as if they had just been awoken by the thunderous explosion in the sky. The masked person was sucked into the torrent and swept down the cliff into the distance. The goddess of fortune must have heard my call for help. Lucky me. After struggling to calm down, I realized a new problem. Where the hell was I? I eventually managed to stop a taxi and get back home, even though I was completely lost. The warm bed and the soft sheets seemed like friends from another lifetime when I got home. They sucked me in instantly as if they were a black hole. The only thought I had before I completely lost consciousness was, I should have gone out. Yeah. Scared I'd feel like I ever died. Wild dream. He was about to cut her or something to say, let go of me. There's not. However, there was no heroin. The blood was being washed away by the rain. It flowed into my hand and dropped in my face. I'd stuck the pin in the back of his hand, but it had been blown away by the heavy wind. This was the movie. I would drag him down, I definitely would. But I didn't have the courage to tell him to let go of me. I was such a coward. Hold on, keep your eyes on me. He held me even tighter. The rain and tears had blurred my eyes, I couldn't see his face. I'm sorry, I'm so scared. I was so scared of being left alone. Miraculously, it seemed to have enough heard my thoughts. Don't be scared. I would never leave you alone, ever. I grabbed a tree next to him. With his left hand leaned back. The tree was already bending at a dangerous angle. My body was jerked upwards. The little tree snapped in half. At the same instant, he pulled me into his broad chest. He locked me in his strong arms. I felt warmth I hadn't felt in a long time. I couldn't think of anything to say. He didn't say anything either. Or maybe he did say something, but I was drowned out by the rain and I couldn't hear it. Oh, well, I guess that makes sense in the long run. Yay! Now what do we have? 2 more notes. Regret my win. Ooh. Probably because of the whole, you know, he saved her and everything like that, but he's still gonna die. You know, he's, you know, got the cancer. You know, you can't just like not survive that, if you know what I mean. Well, I mean, you can't go into recession, but it's, you know, things are getting better on that front, but it's still like when you hear that you got the C word, then, you know, it's like, you know, don't want to be depressed for you, but let's just say. The rain kept pouring down with no signs of stopping anytime soon. I carriedly went on my back to the ranger's cabin on top of the hill. She'd already fallen asleep. Due to the danger of potential landslide, the park rangers had evacuated earlier. I laid her down in the only bed in the cabin and tried to cover up with some sheets, yet I noticed something strange. I felt her forehead. It was a little too warm. Fortunately for us, there was some medicine and a few bottles of water in the cabinets. I tried to get her to take the pills. She leaned on my shoulder and mumbled half-consciously in her dream, and then I heard her say, "Father." I walked to the door and sat on the steps while staring at the rain. I had planned to travel to some new place where no one would know me and spend my final days there. I even asked Yi to watch over this kid on my behalf. I thought I could let this all go. Yet the gods had made me run into her again here. God, haven't you toyed with me enough? When will you stop? Yep, sorry, this time it's Willie's fault, not the girl's. Yang had mentioned that Li Wen's father was a painter and that he passed away due to the heart problem. He sounded just like me. Was that why she'd been so close to me? If so, what about how I felt about her? Uh-oh, are you hitting on some young girl? Back off, dude. No, ever since she had first come into my life, I'd been paying extra attention to her. Creep. At first, I thought it was just curiosity, but lately that feeling seemed to evolve in some way. When I'd been in the hospital, I would often catch myself thinking about her without realizing it. And no, I don't have an issue with different age gaps between relationships, as long as it's within a reasonable difference, you know, preferably above the age of consent, like 17 or older. I should say 18 because that's what it is in my state, but, you know, I think at a certain age, a person can kind of take responsibility for their actions, but you know what I mean. They should be both mature people at that point, you know. Anyway, I kept telling myself that would never happen. After all, there'd only been one person in my heart. The first day after I'd gone out of the hospital and got back to school, I didn't see her in my class. During my lectures, I kept losing my thoughts, until I saw her pass down the back door of the classroom. I had no time to worry about other people staring at us. I carried her out of the school, but I couldn't get a cab. I had to run all the way to the hospital with her on my back. You could just... whatever. Maybe that was the moment that I started feeling something more. Or maybe it had been even earlier. When her picture hasn't been posted on the school forum, I intentionally avoided her. When I walked past her, I knew she was staring at me. I felt like the most horrible and stupid person in the entire world. So that might have been the moment. But maybe not. It wasn't... No... I shouldn't even be thinking about all this. I mean, you're going to die of cancer soon. She and I... It was never going to happen. The night kept getting darker and darker. The rain kept falling. And I was still at the doorstep. I felt like I was dissolving in the rain and the night. I suddenly heard someone call me from behind. She sat herself up in the bed, looked away the second when she saw my eyes. Mr. Wynn, I've always liked you. I stood there, thinking I must have heard it wrong. No, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't have said it. You're my teacher, and I must have made you very uncomfortable. Yeah, the only problem I have with a teacher and student kind of relationship is because there's a power dynamic there that you could technically, the teacher could be using his power or authority over the younger individual. So the power, it's not an equal, I believe half the time it's not an equal partnership because there's clearly a power issue there, whether you believe that's okay or not. Anyway, but I couldn't hold it in any longer. If I don't tell you, I feel like I'm going to lose my mind. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I'm sorry, Mr. Wynn. I'm so sorry. Her hands were clenching the sheets tightly. I want to be with you. I pushed her. She began crying and ran towards the door. She just ran into the evening rain. By the time I realized I could not see her anymore. Earlier, after hesitating for what felt like forever, I had told her the cruelest thing. I'm sorry I can't be with you. I remembered her expression when I pushed her to the ground. She must have thought I'd been disgusted by her. I mean, why would... Okay, I get her having all these feelings and everything like that, but it's like he's in late stage of cancer. It's not going to last very long. Well, I guess, what do they say, the good things in life don't last forever or something? How can I ever feel that about her? The only person I've been disgusted was me. I was so scared. I had no idea what I would mean to her if I'd crossed that line. Her lover? Her father? Or just a pathetic dying cancer patient? I held my flashlight and began aimlessly searching for her in the rain. I almost slipped a dozen times. And when I realized that she might have slipped and fallen down, I hated myself even more. Before I knew it, as daylight, the rain had finally stopped, and the sun had come out. The first ray of sunlight broke through the clouds and sprinkled over upon her body lying in the valley. She was so calm, so beautiful, and so still, she was not even breathing. I held her cold body in my arms. I felt like I'd lost the whole world, again. When Zoran. So she ended up like running out and probably slipped or fell or broke her neck or something. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Man, you just can't win, can you, Win? Alright, what do we... okay, press that. What do we got? 5? Okay. That shouldn't be too bad with 4 options there. Unless there's any weird stipulations. Nope, okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that should work. Alright, let's see what this gets us. 2, 1. I ran into the evening rain and I could not bear to look back. Earlier, after hesitating for what felt like forever, I told her the cruelest thing. I'm sorry. Okay, that's the same. She was so disgusted about her. I can feel about that. I'm so scared. Cross the line. Yeah, what past? Okay, I walked past 2 slips. Found myself arriving at the spot where it spread the ashes of my fiancé. I didn't realize we were going this way. We'd seen the most beautiful rainbow in the world here together once. Honey, I'm so sorry. The freezing rain kept falling. It seemed to be getting even heavier. She wouldn't be out looking for me, would she? Thoughts only entered my mind. The rain was so heavy and the mountains would be dangerous in this weather. If she came out by herself, something had happened to her. I couldn't stop feeling worried and began to regret running out of the cabin. I must go back immediately. But the gods decided to toy with me one last time. When I turned around, I stepped in a puddle of mud and slipped. I lost balance. I rolled down the hill into a completely dark abyss. And we died. Seriously, we died. So, alright, what's that one? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so, yep. Alright. Pushed her, I wanna be with you. She began crying and ran towards the door because it's kind of a creepy relationship. Seriously, it's kind of creepy. I know I am not okay with like young men and old women together. Like if it's the same situation, like an older woman and teacher and a young boy like student, I still wouldn't be okay with it. Same situation, taking advantage. Anyway, she just ran into the evening rain. By the time I realized I couldn't see her anymore, her words had broken my last sensible defense earlier. I had done something unforgivable. She looked at me, terrified. I held my flashlight and began aimlessly searching for her in the rain. Shouldn't they be separated, her in? And whatever. I almost slipped a dozen times. When I realized that she may have slipped and fallen down, I hated myself even more. Why on earth would I do something like that? Before I knew it, it was daylight. The rain had finally stopped. The sun had come out. The first ray of sunlight broke through the clouds. Okay, so that's the same. Another cold body, following the world again. Okay. Gotta be, probably, maybe one more bad and a letter ending, maybe? I could see that. Okay. Let's see. Pushed her. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, let's see what this gets us. What on earth had I been saying? I couldn't bear to look at her anymore. I ran out of the cabin and sat down at the door, pretending to be staring at the rain. She sat down at my right. Perhaps we had a mutual understanding. Neither of us said anything. Not for a long while. The rain had finally stopped, and the sun had come out. Did you see a rainbow? Or, did you see a rainbow? I wasn't expecting her to ask about this, and I was a little surprised. No. A few minutes later, she leaned back on her head on my shoulder and fell asleep. She didn't seem to be dreaming this time. I looked at her beautiful smile as she slept, and I finally made up my mind. I let her sleep on my shoulder quietly for another half hour. I wanted to selflessly enjoy these last glorious moments by myself. The world had stopped moving for all I cared. I couldn't make you happy in this life. But if I had the chance, I would dedicate my entire next life to be with you. What about your previous wife, huh? Did you dedicate your life to her? Huh? Asshole. Oh, man. Anyway. Okay. Oops. Oh, what's this? A letter? For the A ending? Huh. Well, let's, before I do that, let's see what the S ending gets us. So does that mean the A ending is supposed to be the official one? Well, was it Willie said that not all S endings are the right way to go or something like that, or maybe they're not the best result or something like that? Okay. I couldn't simply ignore existence any longer, and I couldn't ignore my true feelings either. She was so pure, so kind, and she was a gift from God. A gift from God, I guess. But depending on how we've been manipulating the letters and everything like that, I didn't want to hurt her. I couldn't help myself anymore. I reached out to her and held her in my arms as tight as I could. This is kind of creepy, almost. Actually, you would think this is romantic, but to me, this is kind of creepy. I kissed her forehead, I kissed her cheeks, I kissed her lips. And undressed her. Wow. Going all the way in like just a swoon moment, huh? I kissed every inch of her body. Her hair had been dripping over my arms and fell on the bed. I mean, technically, let's see. The X ending on this one to get to this point, I think she's still in high school, but she is technically an age past high school, so I guess she would be in her legal age or whatever. Anyway, her hair dripped over my arms and fell on the bed. Her pale body was glistening with the warm light from the candle. She was trembling beneath me. My soaking wet shirt had been stuck to my skin, but it was becoming boiling hot with our body heat. Our two heartbeats were kind of racing and becoming one. This is getting saucy. The rain kept falling, but the world outside did not concern us, not one bit. Not for a long while. The rain had finally stopped, and the sun had come out. The first ray of sunlight came through the window and fell upon her long, soft hair. I gently kissed her forehead. The rest of my life belonged to you now. For however long you've got left with a cancer patient, probably less than a year, and I wouldn't live it well. And I'll will to live it well for you. Oh, the S ending seems kind of nice, even though I find it to be extremely creepy. Hello, we get a different letter.
如果时间可以重来
Wait, so the S ending unlocks her next story, but we have to be in the A rank to play it. Wait, what? Oh, it's not tied to each other. Okay, gotcha. Well, usually if they're on the same line, you assume that they're tied together. So, all right. Well, do we want to do the A rank first then, and then the other one? Yeah, let's just do the S rank first, and then we'll swap to the A rank and see what that ending is. So, or do we want to do? Nah, since we're in the Nah, since A ending is usually what we get first. Okay, I'm gonna do this one first. Holding on. Ever since I was a little kid, I always liked to ponder certain questions. Why was I me? Why were there other people then? Or why were other people them? Why wasn't I other people? Why weren't they me? Did the world really exist, and was everyone living in it the same as I? Or was the world like a movie playing in front of me, and I was the projector of the movie? If I shut myself down, would the world still exist? I knew I'd never find out the answer to these questions, because I could only be myself, not anybody else. Even when I learned that there were over 7 billion people on the Earth, or that compared to the Sun, the Earth was as big as a grain of sand on a beach, or that in the universe our Sun was barely as big as a grain of sand, I still didn't have the answer to those questions. Therefore, ever since I was a little kid, I'd always been eager to prove myself to the world. I must get the best grade on an exam. I must be the last person standing in a fight. I must be the best artist in the world. And I almost had the world's finest art, and I almost had been the world's finest artist 14 years ago in a usually wet winter in Italy. I'd been living in Venice at the time, preparing for my first personal art show. If the art was a success, it would be possible for me to become one of the most highly prized artists in the world, recognized alongside some of the greatest names in history. After weeks and weeks of preparation, I was exhausted and almost excited. But when my fiancée called and told me that she caught the flu and that she had to be hospitalized for a few days, I barely thought twice about it. You and Jim Henson both. I just told her to get some rest, thinking to make it up to her with a huge surprise as soon as I got back home. I could never imagine that a crumbling and ruined world would be waiting me. Veers. When the entire country was embroiled in a devastating fight against the virus and gasping for breath, I was laughably living in my own space, completely isolated from the tragedy. VIRS, V-I-R-S, Variant Infectious Respiratory Syndrome, is a deadly respiratory disease caused by a new coronavirus. The disease can cause death in a few weeks because of the various serious implications. The virus could spread and multiply rapidly due to its airborne nature, and is most active during later winter to the early spring. The epidemic first occurred in East and Southeast Asia, and soon spread over the world in less than 6 months. The total count of infections reached over 20,000. The study shows that the mortality rate of the disease could reach 20%. In the early stage of the outbreak, most countries in the world have no feasible solutions in containing the infections. In the end, the collaborations of scientists and doctors from China, Korea, Japan, Mexico, and other countries finally resulted in a cure and a vaccine in half a year. They were eventually able to limit the deaths to less than 1,800. It is one of the most extraordinary miracles in modern medical history, and his wife had to get killed by them, or his fiancée. When the bubble finally burst, I finally realized everything that I had ever chased meant nothing anymore. I was nothing but a selfish coward. I kept painting, but only because I had no idea what else I could possibly do. 10 years later, I had been diagnosed with stomach cancer. Karma. I didn't want to, nor did I deserve to cause anyone any more trouble. So I had the surgery alone and left China with barely any luggage. The world was so big, and I wanted to go see it before the end. The Amazon jungle, Antarctica, the Middle East. I suffered from hunger, cold. I had even been hit by a bullet. Okay. When I had finally thrown away all my nonsense and started truly appreciating the world for what it was, I began to realize that this world and the lives in it were also magnificent and real. Another 3 years had gone by, and I had finally been feeling pretty great when I went to the doctor for another checkup. The doctor said I was in remission. The cancer was under control. He said my positive and relaxed attitude could be very helpful for treatment. Before he left, he told me to keep living life and treasure it like I had been given a second chance. After I left the hospital, I suddenly had the urge to go and see a person with whom I had often been thinking about, but I couldn't allow myself to. I could only hope that she was having a happy and a good life. I had settled down in Hong Kong, and I had rented a small studio, and I had been teaching little kids drawing. I wasn't well paid, but I was enjoying myself. Occasionally, there would be a few people who'd visit my studio, and they told me that they wanted to purchase some of my pieces. Well, my paintings were all records of the most unforgettable people and events in my life. How could I possibly sell them? God had always loved toying with me. Just when I was getting used to this peaceful new life, it was shaken upside down again. literally this time. A severe earthquake hit the island of Hong Kong without any warning. When I came to, I'd been buried under debris. My right hand was pinned under a big piece of concrete, and I lost all feeling. I assumed the bones had probably been broken. A day had gone by. I hadn't had anything to drink since the day started. A day had gone by. Thought I heard someone yelling something. A day had gone by. The darkness had swallowed me. I had gone 3 days without water. My body was severely dehydrated and couldn't urinate. I thought I'd heard someone calling my name for the past 2 days. Must have started hallucinating. Things couldn't get any worse. I looked at my right hand underneath the concrete, and I still couldn't feel anything. I made a decision. 1, 2, 3, 4. I picked up a rock with my left hand and smashed it against my wrist until I started bleeding. I sucked on my own blood, tried not to waste a single drop. Perhaps it was an all illusion, but I felt a little more energy through my body. Probably the adrenaline. Yet my decision did not seem to pay off. Another few days had gone by. My right hand barely looked like a hand anymore. There were still no signs of rescue. I wanted to live. When Zoran... Man, God, this guy can't get a break. Jesus Christ. Oh, well. That's what this game is all about. It's a wonderful world. It's a wonderful world to be living in. Anyway, looks like Wayne can't catch a break, but maybe in another, at the end of this path, and then maybe on another path, maybe his life won't be so shitty, at least for the time he has left. But we'll find out that next time in the next episode of Will, A Wonderful World. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.